I'm Clyde Lewis, and welcome to Ground Zero Behind the Scenes. Today, a day of strange intelligence gathering. I'm trying to put together a show, busily putting together a show that will be a complement to last night's program, Gulag US, The Shadow of the Pillboxes. We talked about the setup, the 30,000 military drones. We talked about the 140 million rations, the 450,000 rounds of ammo, all the things the Department of Homeland Security is setting up for, including these little pillboxes or these guard shacks. They're going to be setting up strategic points across the country. Now, why is that? Well, I had a phone conversation with someone who told me that they believed there was something going on at the Mexican border where a number of people were going to be crossing the border and they were going to have to protect us from whatever it is that's coming over. Well, I just got this today in an email. Chinese troops reportedly amassing near U.S.-Mexican border. This is a group of truckers that have been notifying some of these internet radio shows that they're seeing what looks like encampments of Chinese near the Mexican border. Now, that's bizarre because I had reported on the Tex Mars program something called Project 1980s. What Project 1980s was a study that was conducted by a number of these think tank groups, like the Council on Foreign Relations, the Committee of 300, and all these other groups. We're looking into the possibility of creating a foolproof model for the New World Order, a model government that they could use that would be, I guess you could say, palatable for some people, that most people wouldn't mind having this type of New World Order. What they came to the conclusion was that, well, we have to kind of bring down America to a level where they're ready to accept or open the conversation for the socialist norm. But they want some sort of state socialism where the government can be in control of all things. You feel like that you're doing something and doing your part, and you don't feel as much pain. So what they decided to do is they decided to try and save us from a sinking ship with something that's a form of communism, but it's actually a state socialist agenda where the government still controls a lot of things, the corporations and a number of other things, but what they do also is they let you believe that you have some control over your destiny, kind of like what China is working with. Their human rights suck, but their government seems to be running fine, and it seems like our government wants more control. It wants to expand and continue to kill the Constitution and kill the way we were as Americans prior to 9/11. You see, the whole 9/11 thing, when you take things down and take away rights and you do so with the fear of the people, you know, it opens the door for things like state socialism. And of course, the Chinese model is what we're looking at. Have you ever felt like you're hopeless, that you're getting nowhere, that you're trying to tell people that this is happening? Well, it is happening. The only thing is it needs to be explained, and you need to show people what is going on. So an army amassed somewhere, a Chinese army amassed somewhere near the Mexican border. I find it also interesting that they're remaking the movie Red Dawn, and actually the Chinese and the North Koreans are going to be the enemy rather than the Russians. So it'll be interesting to see what that's all about, because the final stage will be a powerful government of industry and military, and it'll all work together. That's what they're hoping for, is this wonderful plan of what they call the Chinese democracy or the Chinese state socialist agenda. And what is even more interesting about this is it has more control, more power, and it seems like it's, I guess, Nazism light or Chinese communism light or whatever, but it's a way to be a gateway to the final, I guess you could say, struggle or schism that will happen in America. I'm Clyde Lewis, and you're watching Ground Zero Behind the Scenes.